Welcome to the Foundry by Forge College. In our last session, we wrapped up synthesizing scalability and composability. Basically, how to build dApps that scale without breaking the pieces of the Solana ecosystem they interact with. But now we have a practical problem. You've got brilliant code on your local machine. How do you move that code into a live marketplace integration without a catastrophic failure that locks up user funds or breaks the UI for everyone else? To manage that move, we use the tooling conveyor mental model. Think of your integration pipeline as these three linked stations: local validation, orchestrated testing, and release automation. Three things move along this track. First is the artifact flow, your compiled programs, build files, and metadata. These are the physical goods being moved toward the marketplace. Then there's the signal flow. These are the green or red indicators representing test results, security scans, and human approvals. If a signal turns red, the conveyor stops before the artifact can move to the next station. Finally, we have the configuration flow. This acts like a protective wrapping, carrying your environment variables and network endpoints. It ensures the code knows exactly which credentials to use at every stage of the journey. This conveyor organizes a long list of disparate testing tools into a sequence of specific checkpoints. If code is behaving differently in the marketplace than it did on your laptop, then you can trace the failure back through these flows to see exactly which station needs a tighter gate. Let's zoom in on that first stop, local validation. This station uses the iterative developer flow. It's the setup you'll see most often in small teams or when you're just starting a prototype. Instead of heavy cloud environments, you rely on local test runners and lightweight mocks. It's essentially pretend software that mimics the marketplace, so you can check your basic logic without needing a full internet connection or a massive server. The triggers here are fast. You open a pull request or commit to a feature branch, and the local validation kicks off immediately. The goal is sub-minute feedback. By catching math errors or broken logic right here, you avoid wasting hours waiting for heavier, more expensive orchestration environments to tell you your code is broken. Once the code passes those quick checks, it moves to Station 2, orchestrated testing. This is where the rules get a lot stricter. This is the gate and promote flow. The central path branches into isolated testing nodes guarded by a staging gate. These temporary sandboxes run one test and are immediately destroyed, ensuring old data can't corrupt new results. This station handles the heavy lifting, simulating full marketplace interactions, fuzzing your contracts with random data to find vulnerabilities, and running property tests to probe for hidden edge cases. Because this takes more time and resources, it's usually triggered by a merge to a staging branch or a scheduled nightly run. You're trading developer speed for extreme reproducibility. By the time an artifact passes this station, you have a verified trail proving it behaves predictably in a production-like environment. Finally, we reach the last stop, Station 3, release automation. This is where your code and metadata finally touch the live marketplace. For high-stakes integrations, we use a canary release flow. The path splits, routing just 5% of traffic to the new version, while the rest is gated. If metrics pass, the main gate opens, flooding the marketplace. But high-speed automation requires high-level hygiene. Your private keys and RPC credentials must be managed by the system, never handled manually by developers. You use automated checks to ensure no staging keys accidentally leak into your production artifacts. If a sensitive secret is detected in a build file, the pipeline kills the release before deployment. By automating both these release gates and your secret management, you create a system that protects user assets and maintains trust with the marketplace. The key is matching your tooling investment to your rollout goals. A team prioritizing rapid prototyping will focus on Station 1. A team launching a production integration where stability is everything will invest heavily in the orchestrated clusters and canary flows of Stations 2 and 3. In the next lesson, Configuring Integration Automation, we'll take these abstract conveyor stations and turn them into actual CI/CD configuration code. If you want to dive deeper into how these pipelines are built before we start coding, check out the other courses and learning tracks here at Forge College. Utilizing the integration conveyor turns abstract rollout goals into a repeatable technical process. To explore more about this and the wider Web3 world, visit forge.college. We'll see you in the next lesson.